यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना यमुना तेरा वनचारे यमुना तेरा वनचारे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधे जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो जय निताय गौरांगो जय प्रहलाद नरसिम्हा प्रहलाद नरसिम्हा प्रहलाद नरसिम्हा जय सुदर्शना जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नमचार्य शील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी क्षेत्र की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय। श्री श्री निताय गौरांग की जय। श्री श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंह देव की जय। श्री श्री सुदर्शन भगवान की जय। हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. ग्रंथरा श्रीमद्-भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naisthiki. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first canto, 10 chapter, text number 21. Sa vai kilayam purushaha puratano sa vai kilayam purushah puratano ya eka asid avishesha आत्मनि य एक आसीद विशेष आत्मनि अग्रे गुणेभ्यो जगद आत्मनीश्वरे अग्रे गुणेभ्यो जगदात्मनीश्वरे निमीलितात्मन् निशि सुप्त शक्तिषु निमीलितात्मन् निशि सुप्त शक्तिषु स वै किलायं पुरुषः पुरातनो य एक आसीद विशेष आत्मनि अग्रे गुणेभ्यो जगदात्मनीश्वरे निमीलितात्मन्निशि सुप्त शक्तिषु तवैक्यं पुरुषः पुरातनो य एक आसीद विशेष आत्मनि अग्रे गुणेभ्यो जगदात्मनीश्वरे निशिशुप्त शक्तिषु स वै किलायां पुरुषः पुरातनो एक आसीद विशेष आत्मनि अग्रे गुणेभ्यो जगदात्मनीश्वरे जगदात्मनीश्वरे नमनिशि सुप्त शक्तिषु सह he Krishna vai as I remember kila definitely I am this Purushaha personality of Godhead Puratanaha the original Yaha who Ekaha only one Asit existed Avisheshaha materially unmanifested Atmani own self Agre before creation Gunebhyaha of the modes of nature Jagat Atmani unto the super soul Ishvare unto the supreme Lord Nimilita merged into Atman the living entity Nishi Supta inactive at night, Shaktishu of the energies. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. They said, here he is, the original personality of Godhead, as we definitely remember him. He alone existed before the manifested creation of the modes of nature, and in him only, because he is the supreme Lord, all living beings merge, as if sleeping at night, their energy suspended. Please repeat. They said, here he is, the original personality of Godhead, as we definitely remember him. He alone existed before the manifested creation of the modes of nature, and in him only, because he is the Supreme Lord, all living beings merge, as if sleeping at night, their energy suspended. Purport. There are two types of dissolution of the manifested cosmos. At the end of every 4,320,000,000 solar years, when Brahma, the lord of one particular universe, goes to sleep, there is one annihilation. And at the end of Lord Brahma's life, which takes place at the end of Brahma's 100 years of age, in our calculation, at the end of 8,640,000,000 into 30 into 12 into 100 solar years, there is complete annihilation of the entire universe. And in both the periods, both the material energy called the Mahat Tattva and the marginal energy called Jiva Tattva merge in the person of the Supreme Lord. The living beings remain asleep within the body of the Lord until there is another creation of the material world. And that is the way of the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the material manifestation. The material creation is affected by the interaction of the three modes of material nature set in action by the Lord. And therefore, it is stated here that the Lord existed before the modes of material nature were set in motion. In the Shruti mantra, it is said that only Vishnu, the Supreme Lord, existed before the creation, and there was no Brahma, Shiva, or other demigods. Vishnu means the Mahavishnu, who is lying on the causal ocean. By his breathing only, all the universes are generated in seeds and sorry, gradually develop into gigantic forms with innumerable planets within each and every universe. The seeds of universes develop into gigantic forms in the way seeds of a banyan tree develop into numberless banyan trees. This Mahavishnu is the plenary portion of Lord Sri Krishna, who is mentioned in the Brahma Samhita as follows. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the original personality of Godhead Govinda, whose plenary portion is the Mahavishnu. All the Brahmas, the heads of the universes, live only for the period of his exhaling, after the universes are generated from the pores of his transcendental body. Thus, Govinda or Lord Krishna is the cause of Mahavishnu also. The ladies talking about this Vedic truth must have heard it from authoritative sources. An authoritative source is the only means of knowing about transcendental subject matter. Definitely, there is no alternative. The merging of the living beings into the body of Mahavishnu takes place automatically at the end of Brahma's 100 years. But that does not mean that the individual living being loses his identity. The identity is there, and as soon as there is another creation by the supreme will of the Lord, all the sleeping, inactive living beings are again let loose to begin their activities in the continuation of past different spheres of life. It is called Suptothita Nyaya, or awakening from sleep and again engaging in one's respective continuous duty. When a man is asleep at night, he forgets himself, what he is, what his duty is, and everything of his waking state. But as soon as he awakens from slumber, he remembers all that he has to do and thus engages himself again in his prescribed activities. The living beings also remain merged in the body of Mahavishnu during the period of annihilation, but as soon as there is another creation, they arise to take up their unfinished work. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord existed before the creative energy was set in action. The Lord is not a product of the material energy. His body is completely spiritual, and there is no difference between his body and himself. Before creation, the Lord remained in his abode, which is absolute and one. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले ते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. We saw in the previous class how the women, they were able to produce sounds which are more attractive than the vibrations of Vedic literature. How they were able to do so? Because they were absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, Krishna consciousness. We understood how we remain absorbed in various thoughts of this material world, but all those thoughts are not able to elevate us to transcendental state. But Krishna thoughts are able to elevate one to transcendental platform. This means Krishna does not belong to this place which is made up of matter. So who is Krishna? So that position is described here by the same women, what they are talking when they are looking at Krishna. So the description is given here. Savai kilayam purusha puratano. Puratan means the original person, the oldest person. There are so many persons here. Son has come from father, father from his father. Like this, from where this chain has begun? This chain has begun from the Supreme Lord. Savai kilayam. Kila means definitely. I definitely know for sure that he is the supreme person. He is Purusha Puratano ya ek asid avishesha atmani agre gunebhyo jagadadmanishware. When the modes of nature were not manifest, where they were lying? They were lying in the body of this Supreme Lord. Entire world is nothing but made up of three modes of nature. So from where this energy has come, one should ask. All these wood, steel, earth, water, fire, this has manifested from where? Energy has come from somewhere. From nothing, something cannot come out. So from where these energies have come, where they were lying before? So this question should be asked. This is very intelligent question. Such huge cosmos, so many planets. From where they have come? What was the source of all these energies? So it is told here, Agre gunebhyo jagadatmanishware. The source is the same super self, supreme self. In him all the energies were lying. Nimilitatma nishi supt shaktishu. Just like the living entities go to sleep at night and they wake up, similarly, all the energies, the living entities or the external energy, Jeev Tattva and Mahat Tattva, both are lying in the body of Supreme Lord. And when there is creation, they again wake up in their different forms and start acting again to fulfill the desires. And how long is this creation? 8,640,000,000 into 30, into 12, into 100 years. This is one creation of the life of universe. 8,640,000,000, that is one day and night of Brahma, 24 hours. 8,640,000,000 years. Into 30 is 1 month of Brahma, into 12 is 1 year of Brahma, and into 100 is 100 years, lifespan of Brahma. And then what happens when the lifespan? So there are two kinds of destruction which are mentioned here. One destruction happens at the night time of Brahma. 12 hours Lord Brahma is awake. 12 hours he sleeps. When Brahma is awake, creation happens, sustenance. When Brahma sleeps, then the lower 10 planetary systems. And it is told 11th one also, Maharloka also gets disturbed. Some places it is told only 10 places are disturbed. Other places it is told 11 places are destroyed, just 3 places. Janalok, Tapalok, and Satyalok, they remain behind. So 10 to 11 planetary systems are destroyed. And the living entities go and rest in the body of Lord Vishnu. So it is told here in both the cases, the living entities go and rest in the body of Lord Vishnu. But when Lord Brahma's lifespan gets over, then everything collapses completely. The top 3 planetary systems are also destroyed. And then what happens? Again, next creation will take place, and those living entities will come out. Why? To fulfill desires. So we can see the nature of desires. They are not fulfilled even in 8,640,000,000 into 30, into 12, into 100, into eternity. Billions and billions of years have passed away, but desires are not fulfilled. They go and sleep, again they wake up. They go and sleep, again they wake up. In this way, living entities continue. So if I am thinking, let me fulfill my desires, or let me fulfill desires of my relatives, then they will allow me to follow Krishna consciousness nicely. Or I will follow Krishna. So it will not happen in many, many Brahmas to come. Brahma will come and go, die, go back to Godhead, but desires will not be fulfilled. So if I think, let me fulfill my desires, or somebody can be satisfied, nobody can be satisfied in this material world. Neha tripyanti kripana bahu dukkha bhaja kanduti manasijam vishaheta dhira yan mathunadi grahamedi sukhamitucham. So the desires of a materialist grahamedi, which is based around sex life. Sex life is the prime enjoyment. You remove sex life, nobody would like to enjoy anything else. Life becomes full of distress. But this is third last pleasure. There is no pleasure in this. But because we do not know pleasure, we are always having pleasure deficit in our life. We are born with pleasure deficit. That is why people are working very hard to enjoy. One who is enjoying, will he work hard? No. If I have eaten a very nice feast, I am full. Will I work hard to get more food? No, because I am full. So only those who are very hungry, they will look for food, steal for food, run here and there. Even search the dustbins also when people are so hungry. That is what living entity is doing here. Beg, borrow, or steal. Somehow become happy. He's taking bribes, giving bribes, working very hard. It means how much unhappy living entity is. The harder living entity is working, it means the more he is unhappy. So if hard work is increasing in the society, it means unhappiness is increasing in society. It is very clear. Nobody likes to work hard, but unhappiness is increasing. So that is the nature of this material happiness. Yan marathunadi grahamedi sukham, this third last pleasure. It is not pleasure. Absence of misery is perceived as happiness in this world. There is no happiness. The child of a rich man will not enjoy richness. He is born rich. Only when one suffers lack of richness, they enjoy getting money. Rich man will not feel as any special. Son of a rich man, born rich. One who is born famous will not get any happiness with that fame. So when a person is having deficit of these opulences, They are suffering and they want to work hard to enjoy. There is deficit of happiness in our life. But it is told in Vedanta Sutra, Anandamayo Abhyasat. The spirit soul is full of ananda, full of pleasure. So, spirit soul in its constitutional position, naturally, in self realized position, we can leave little so that people can pass. Otherwise, if more people come, they will not be able to. Always some passage can be left. Yeah, it's okay. Not many people will come. They will come after many, many Brahmas. Not easy. So, living entity is full of happiness. Living entity needs nothing. And that is the life of the Goswamis. That is the life of pure devotees who are in love of God. They do not need anything in their life. They are completely full of happiness. This is called life. But if a person is working very hard as the society is working today, means there is so much of unhappiness that they are so desperate to become happy. But such kind of life, neha tripyanti, kandut even manasijam, it is only mental concoction. This will make me happy, that will make me happy, nothing will make us happy. Universes will come and get destroyed. We will always keep chasing our desires. And thus we can understand from our life also, desires are only increasing, they are not coming down. We are making some plans, and plans we keep on making eternally. So it does not make any sense. When I know this relief, I'll never get in many, many lifetimes. Tripyanti neha kripana bahu dukkha bhaja. And in course of this activity, to make my plans and fulfill the ambition, bahu dukkha bhaja, lot of suffering living entity undergoes. Bahu dukkha bhaja. And neha tripyanti, one is never tripyanti, never satisfied. And lot of misery one undergoes in this process. So just like Prabhupada gives very nice example, small child is there. What do children do? They find anything, they'll pick up and put it in their mouth. This is called Anandamay Kosh. Living entity goes through different phases of consciousness. Small child does not know anything but food. Does not know what is father, what is mother. It does not even recognize that I am having life. Small child only recognizes food. Somebody is coming to kill, will he get threatened? No. No conception of life, that I am life, I have to protect myself. No. Just food, food. It wants food. This is called Anandamaya Kosh. Then slowly the living entity grows. He understands I'm having life. Then he understands I'm having mind. He starts, so food, then defense, and then mental pleasure. Some relatives, some people around me, friends. He seeks mental happiness. Then Gyanmaya Kosh, Pranmaya, Gyanmaya. Gyan means knowledge, self-realized knowledge, and final is self-realized souls. Perfection of self-realization, spiritual bliss. In this way, living entity grows through different phases of consciousness. So, small child just recognizes pranamaya, sorry, annamaya kosh. Ann means food. Pranamaya is later. So, just food. Wants to pick up, put everything in mouth. So, our situation, the living entities here, similarly, they are like small children. They are trying to capture anything for their enjoyment, trying to capture sense objects, not knowing what is going to satisfy them. Okay, fame, let me capture fame. If I become famous, I'll be happy. Money, let me capture money. Physical pleasures, let me capture physical pleasures. Sensual pleasures. Mental pleasures, let me capture mental pleasures. So, in this way, one is trying to capture so many things, just like small children. Child does not know what is poison, what is medicine, what is food, and what is to be avoided. Does not know. Captures anything, puts in mouth. That is tendency. It is hungry, wants to put something in mouth. Similarly, it is told in Bhagavatam, Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu. People do not know where lies their self-interest, that their self-interest lies only in complete surrender and loving service of Krishna. Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu. So just like small children need guidance of parents, similarly we need guidance of authorities. So how women have come to know this knowledge which living entities cannot fathom? As Prabhupada explains here, they would have heard from authoritative sources, because we don't remember. What to speak of previous life? We don't even remember. We were in the womb of the mother. Do we remember? No, we don't. But we were there in the womb, that is for sure. Similarly, we were there even before this birth, but we don't remember. So how shall I know? There are creations, so many creations, universes created and destroyed by authoritative sources. That is the only way. If child has to know about father, understanding from mother is the only way. There is no other way. Similarly, in order to understand from where all these energies are coming, mother or the Vedas are the only way. There is no other way. Learning from authoritative sources is the only way of finding out truth. So one has to be very intelligent to find out the authoritative source. And if one is able to find the authoritative source, then life is very easy. As we go to doctor, doctor gives medicine, we get cured immediately. In a similar way, one gets cured immediately from all the material pangs, and he is called a bona fide spiritual master. This is the symptom. Sansara dava nallida loka tranaya karone ghana ghanatvam. We are burning in this forest fire. Material world is compared to forest fire. Everyone is burning, and one who gives relief, he is a bona fide spiritual master. Just like the clouds only can bring relief to such a forest burning in fire. No amount of fire brigade or bucketfuls of water can help. So this is the symptom of having bona fide spiritual master in our life. One gets immediate relief from all the miseries of life. For this we should take to, I have a guru, but I am suffering, there is stress, there is anxiety in my life. Life is as it is. Then what is the use of guru? Either guru is not proper or we are not able to follow the instructions. So that is why guru is required to give us relief. Atyantik dukh nivritti, not immediate dukh nivritti. Sense gratifiers want to get immediate relief, although that will give long-term misery. I want permanent solution of all my problems of life. Atyantik dukh nivritti. And for this, I need to know perfect knowledge. And this perfect knowledge we can get only when we stop this mental speculation. We have to engage in service of Krishna. Bhavantam evanucharan nirantaram. So I'm sorry I made a mistake. I told this shloka was by Prabodhanand Saraswati. It is by Yamunacharya. This shloka. Bhavantam evanucharan nirantaram. So always he is preaching constant meditation, constant meditation. He is telling Yadavadhi mama cheta Krishna padara vinde nava navarasa. So on one hand, there is situation of the people who are enjoying this material life. They are neha tripyanti kripana bahudukka bhaja. They will take different forms, enjoy varieties of enjoyment, various positions, but they are never satisfied. On other hand, devotee of Krishna does not try any variety, but just focuses on lotus feet. And then, Navanavarasa dham nyudyatam rantu masit, he gets newer pleasures in his life every day. Similar context, Yamunacharya is explaining here. Bhavantam evanu charan nirantaram, he is praying, when will I engage constantly in the service of Krishna? And this is going to happen only when Prashant and Nishesha Manorathantaraha, when this Manoratha, mental concoction, is stopped. Otherwise, mental concoction, it drives us life after life. This is good, chase this is bad, avoid this. In this way, our mental concoctions are disturbing us. So that is why Prabhupada was giving instructions at the time of initiation. What are the instructions given at the time of initiation? 4 regulative principles, 16 rounds. So here one Mataji, Manmohini Devi Dasi, is recollecting her initiation. For as long as she could remember, Manmohini was looking for something like this movement. She was 19 when she joined the 61 Second Avenue Temple in October of 1969, and soon after went to Boston. I had tried to become a vegetarian over and over, but did not know what to eat until I found the devotees. I wrote Prabhupada a nice letter asking to be initiated, And in February 1970, I got a beautiful initiation letter back. I love the name Prabhupada gave me. It's a name for Radha Rani. Man means mind and Mohini means attractor of. In his letter to me, Prabhupada wrote, "My dear daughter, Manmohini, please accept my blessings. I am in due receipt of your nice letter dated 18 February 1970, along with your beads for chanting and a pair of lovely flower garlands. Thank you very much." I have immediately offered the flower garlands to Radha and Krishna, and they are so nice looking. I am very happy to accept you as my disciple, and I am glad to know that you are praying to Lord Krishna only, that you may always remember that your position eternally is to serve and take shelter of his transcendental lotus feet. So I am returning your beads duly chanted by me, and your spiritual name is Manmohini Dasi. Manmohini is another name of Radharani, and Manmohini Dasi is the maid servant of Radharani. Now please chant Hare Krishna mantra and be sublimely happy. You know that as my initiated disciple, you must chant regularly 16 rounds of beads daily and follow the four restrictions, namely, no eating of meat, fish, or eggs, no illicit sex life, no taking of any kinds of intoxications, and no gambling, and Prabhupada writes, or mental speculation. If you stick to these principles and chant the holy name, avoiding 10 offenses in the matter of chanting, you will become steady and rapidly advanced in Krishna consciousness. So, thus Prabhupada has told no gambling or mental speculation. This Prabhupada mentioned in other places also. Instruction was given to other initiated disciples also. No gambling and no mental speculation. So, this mental speculation is also extremely dangerous and it is gambling. Why gambling? Just like a blind man crossing the road, that is gambling. The road might be safe or might not be safe. It is gamble when you cannot see anything. Out of so many colors, you have to pick one color, a blind man. If it tells, oh yeah, this is red, that is called gambling. Similarly, when we living entities try to understand what is right and what is wrong using our senses, then that is called gambling. Because we are blind to absolute truth, we can know only relative truth. For a small child, playing entire day is happiness. Child cannot understand what is good. Similarly, we cannot tell what is absolutely right or absolutely wrong because we do not understand picture. What is creation? What is purpose of creation? Who am I? I am spiritually blind. I am blind to absolute truth. I can only tell relative truth. So if I make absolute statement, this is fact, this is world, this is happiness, then that is called gambling. And the whole world is doing this gambling, which is called mental speculation. This is right, this is not right. This will make me happy, this will not make me happy. A blind person should not even attempt to determine which is the what is this color. He can never understand. He will only gamble. That is why we should also not do this mental speculation. Whole world is all the philosophers and everyone, different religions, different uh, philosophers, impersonalists, everyone is, unless they follow proper disciplic succession, the knowledge which is coming from the creator, they cannot understand what is creation, what is purpose of creation, what am I supposed to do here. So this is called intelligence. Reject immediately. When we solve multiple choice questions, some things we know definitely are wrong for sure. So similarly, one may not be very sure of truth, but this thing should be rejected immediately. That is sense enjoyment and mental speculation. Sense enjoyment is misery. In many, many creations, one is not satisfied. So any path of satisfying the senses should be given up immediately. Every moment spent there is wasted. That simply increases my hunger for sense enjoyment. Simply increases my hunger. Person who was born poor, how much he was needing for his sustenance? Maybe few hundred rupees. Now he has become rich. Now how much he needs? Few $1 million. Without that, he cannot. So now he has become more poor. He wants more money. Earlier, he wanted less money. So this is not financial independence. This is financial dependence. Now he has become more dependent. Now he cannot live without millions of dollars spent every year. So thus this path should be given up immediately, path of sense satisfaction and the path of mental speculation. Judging, philosophizing, this is right, this is not right, should be given up immediately. This is gambling. So when Prashanta Nishesha Manorathantaraha, when one becomes freed from this mental speculation, one is very, very peaceful. Prashant, one becomes very peaceful. And with this peaceful mind, only when one is freed from all mental concoctions, one finds an authoritative. When you find a good doctor or a good guide or an able driver, you sit very peacefully. You know he will take me to destination. He knows the path. He is expert. You simply sit peacefully and the cab or bus driver or the pilot will take you to your destination. You are sitting very peacefully. You know he knows the way. He knows how to take me. I am peaceful. Similarly, a person becomes very, very peaceful if he finds a bona fide spiritual master. So that is why it is one's duty. In Bhagavatam it is mentioned. Artha bhavam nishchitya pratitasyapi natma nahatam chapi yushmat charana sevayaham paranude. My dear sir, I am obliged to you because now I can understand that this material manifestation is without substance, although it appears real. I am confident that by serving your feet, it will be possible for me to give up the false idea. So Kapil Muni is explaining that how there is no substance in this material world. It is imitation of real world, the spiritual world. This world is made to look like the spiritual world. And it is not possible to come out to understand that this is temporary reality in which I am doing nonsense activities. I am taking the drama seriously. Out of drama, some forms have been created. I identify myself with one of those forms and waste time uselessly, life after life, trying to preserve those forms which are anyway going to be destroyed. What is the need of getting attached to anything which is temporary in nature? My name, my form, my family, my pets will not remain. They were not there in the past, they will not continue in the future. So yes, as a matter of duty, there is duty, so I should take care of their body and mind so that they also advance in Krishna consciousness. But any undue attachment is foolishness. Spending all time, money, resources, attention, care for take care of such material bodies is useless waste of time because there cannot be any care. They are going to be destroyed. Pain is going to come. Death is going to come. We cannot avoid pain and death. We can avoid pain and death only by spiritual advancement. So that is why one should avoid any kind of attachment in this material world. This attachment is very dangerous. This material world appears to be very, very real. Very difficult to come out of these concoctions. But here, Devahuti is obliged to Kapil Muni. My dear sir, I am obliged to you because now I can understand that this material manifestation is without substance. There is no substance here. It's an imitation of substance. Real trees, real waters, real mud, it exists in spiritual world. Here there is no real water, no real tree because tree will become something else. Cotton, your shirt tomorrow, shirt will become again earth. Earth will become grain tomorrow, grain will become body, pus, mucus, bile, bones. It will again become ash or stool or something else. So there is no reality. Things are constantly changing their forms. But this we can understand only by the mercy of spiritual master or Lord Krishna. So Devahuti is obliged because now she is able to understand that this world is without substance. There is no substance here. I am confident that although it appears real, I am confident that by serving your feet, it will be possible for me to give up the false idea. Now, this is very important. One gives up this false idea by engaging in service of the lotus feet of spiritual master. By artificially thinking, philosophizing, let me understand, applying logic, one cannot understand. How a sleeping man can apply any logic to wake up to reality? Cannot. Supto thitanyaya. One has to wake up to understand. Sleeping man's logic are of no use to understand reality. Thus, in the purport, Prabhupada explains the sufferings of the conditioned soul are superficial and have no intrinsic value, like the cutting off of one's head in a dream. The sufferings of the people in this world are superficial and have no value. How? Just like the cutting of head in dream. Yet, although this statement is theoretically very true, it is very difficult for the common man or the neophyte on the transcendental path to realize practically. Sometimes we dream that my head has been cut off. Anybody has dreamt like this? Huh? Nobody? Earlier, this was common punishment. Heads were being chopped off. So when somebody has done anything wrong, they would dream. We dream that head is chopped off. So now how is it possible? If head is chopped off, how person can see my head is not there? That means it is false. As soon as you see that your head is chopped off, that means it is a dream. It is not reality. No intrinsic value. In a similar way, the sufferings of this world have got no intrinsic value. But it is very clearly told, although this statement is theoretically very true, it is very difficult for a common man or neophyte on the transcendental path to realize. However, by serving the feet of great transcendentalists, and by constantly associating with them, one is enabled to give up the false idea that the soul suffers from material pangs. By serving the feet of great transcendentalists and constantly associating with them, one is enabled to give up the false idea. I'm sorry, this is for matrimony, not to Kapil Muni. Serving the feet of great transcendentalists like matrimony, and by constantly associating with them, one is enabled to give up the false idea that the soul suffers from material pangs. So that is why that is called Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means practically engaging in service. Otherwise, very, very clearly it is told, Na me vedu surgana prabhavam na maharshaya aham adirhi devanam. So nobody can understand, even the great rishis or the demigods who are so powerful. The demigods are practically omniscient. Omniscient means wherever fire is there, fire god knows what is happening. Anywhere fire element is there. Anywhere water is there, the water god is knowing what is happening. Anywhere air is there, air god is knowing. Yamraj is all knowing. Brahma is all knowing. They can penetrate the hearts of the living entities and know what is happening. They are so powerful. But these powerful demigods, the demigod of the demigods, god of all demigods, Lord Brahma, also does not know who is origin. Thus, Lord Krishna declares very clearly, Name Vedu Surgana. Surgana means the hosts of demigods. They do not know me. Krishna tells, Aham Adari Videvanam Maharshi Nam Cha Sarvasha. I am the source of all the Devtas and all the great sages. Nobody can understand about source unless they hear. Because source was present before them. So how we can know what is the source? Because we were not there. We have come from source. So no one can understand what is source. So to understand about this source, people follow various paths. In 13th chapter, Lord Krishna describes. Some people, dhyanenatmani pashyanti, try to understand the super soul by dhyana. Dhyana means just like Sunny is doing dhyana. Little tired, it's okay. Not like this. We have to. Dhyana is state of full consciousness, although it also appears like sleeping. So like this, dhyanena atmani pashyanti. Some people, they try to realize super soul by meditation, getting absorbed in meditation. And what do others do? They realize him by path of knowledge and working without fruitive activities. These are various ways of understanding God, either by meditation or by cultivating of knowledge or working without enjoying the result. Give up the result. You work, but you don't enjoy the result. In this way, various people realize the absolute truth. But then there are others who are not so intelligent, cannot take to the process of meditation. Forget it. Strong brahmacharya, going to mountains, living alone, sitting alone for a long time, not possible. Understanding Vedas, not possible. Giving up results of fruitive activities, not possible. Very much attached. So, but others, there is another category who cannot follow all these things. They are also able to understand the absolute truth. How they are able to understand? Shrutva nebhya upasate. Others who are less intelligent cannot follow the path of karma yoga, jnana yoga or dhyana yoga are also able to realize supreme truth by Shrutva nebhya upasate, simply by hearing. Tepi chati atitarantyeva mrityum shruti parayana. Simply by this process of hearing, mrityum, they are able to cross over the repeated birth and death. They also become immortal. So Prabhupada explains in the purport, this is the process for most of us in the Kali Yuga. We are not so advanced, we are materially very attached, cannot give up the results of activity. But if we simply keep on hearing, we'll be able to give up the results, we'll be able to understand the philosophy, and always 24 hours we can maintain a meditative state. So a devotee of Krishna, simply by hearing, attains the position of a dhyani, attains the position of a karma yogi, attains the position of a jnana yogi automatically. So thus it is very, very important that we give up mental speculation. In the initial stages, Maya attacks in this manner. It gives lot of doubts. There are two potencies of Maya, Avranatmika and Prakshepatmika. Avranatmika means covering potency. There is covering. Anyway, you cannot see what is outside, what is truth. But when living entity is able to break this Avranatmika Shakti, understand, oh, truth is beyond this Avran, this is illusion, then what happens? There is throwing potency, Prakshepatmika Shakti. Prakshepastra means missile. It is thrown. So Maya throws away. Living entity is crossing the covering. It throws the living entity back. Go inside. Again, living entity goes inside. Oh, my life, my enjoyment. See, let me enjoy. Anyway, Krishna will follow later. There is a lot of time. So Prakshepa. So this Maya tries to throw living entity away. That is why many people, they follow and they give up after some time. Krishna consciousness got affected by Prakshepatmika Shakti, got thrown away back into the. So one of the favorite such throwing features of throwing potency is creating doubts. And doubts will be there in the initial stages. But one should be intelligent enough not to trust these doubts. What is the use of my doubt? Let the doubts be there, but I have to follow some authority. Let me follow best authority. Following one's own mind is gamble. That is mental speculation. One should never do that. One should try to follow. If I am following my mind, it means I think I am the most intelligent person who has existed ever on the planet. All the great sages who have written books, or all the current sages, philosophers, saints, I am more intelligent than all of them. If you are, then you can follow. So thus one should not trust one's mind. Otherwise, doubts come and people give up spiritual life. What is the use of all these doubts? That is the nature of mind. Sometimes one is able to understand. Sometimes we get doubts in our textbook subjects also many times. But I am thoroughly convinced whatever is written there is fact. So I go to the teacher and ask how it is correct, how to prove. I don't doubt. Even though doubts come. In a similar way, doubts may come, but I should not worry about it. I should go to spiritual master and ask how to understand this doubt is coming in my mind. How to understand this. So in this way, one should try to see clarity. So it is very, very important. As soon as doubts come, it should be rejected immediately, because there is, just like the lusty thoughts, should be rejected immediately. Krishna tells. Tasmad indriyani adav niyamya bhartarshaba. In the beginning itself, one should control the senses. Later, it is difficult. As soon as any lusty thought comes, you immediately reject it. As soon as any thought of sense enjoyment comes, immediately we should reject. Anger is coming, immediately we should try to reject. Similarly, any thought of mental speculation is coming, doubt is coming, immediately we should reject. What is the use? Whether this is the right meaning of the word. If we speculate, what is the use? I should find dictionary, right dictionary. And then whatever dictionary says, I have to believe. That is fact. What is the use of speculating this right or not? We can never understand. We have to find the right book. So in a similar way, we have to find right authority and then follow authority very nicely. This is Vedic culture. People would follow authority unless they find a better authority, because authority should always be followed. So that is why they will debate. The debate was not to simply boost one's false ego, but to understand whether other person is more advanced in the path of knowledge. And if they get defeated, then they will accept other person as their guru, as their spiritual master, and further advance in spiritual life. But at least now I have to follow the authority which I can find out which is the best authority. Not following authority is foolishness, Prabhupada tells. That is why when people would come and ask Prabhupada, whether this is fact or that is fact, Prabhupada tells, what are you following? At least follow something. Something you follow, some authority you follow. So one should follow authority. This is common sense. Now, which is best authority? One is sincere, Krishna will guide from the heart. And the best authority, as we can understand, everyone has approved, Krishna has declared. And that is the process of following a pure devotee of Krishna. Very, very clearly, Krishna has told, Bhaktya mama bijanati, tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Only by mahasevam dwara mahur vimukte. God is a person. Person can be known only when person is pleased. It is very simple to understand. So pleasing the person is the process of bhakti yoga. So simply, not by mental speculation, not by applying logic, but by working very hard, always thinking how to please Krishna, how to please spiritual master. Just like we are thinking in our offices, how to please boss, how to please boss, how to impress. Similarly, 24 hours I should be thinking how to impress, how to please. We give up our weekends also to impress the boss. Yes, see boss, I'm working so hard. I'm available on Saturday and Sunday also. Midnight also you call, I'm available. We are so much, yes, I want to please you. Similarly, we should be very much eager to please Guru and Krishna. We should be willing to sacrifice to please Guru and Krishna. So this consciousness is required. With this consciousness, if I work very hard to please spiritual master and Krishna, then all clarity is there. One is able to see factually how there is no substance in this material world. My desires will not be fulfilled even after many, many universes collapse and they originate again. So why to waste even a single moment on this path? Why not take to devotional service and make my life perfect? With this we will end. Any questions? Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, you mentioned that suffering is just like a dream, an illusion. So, in second chapter of Elevation to Krishna Consciousness, so there also it is mentioned that the impersonalists or monists who are there, so they said these all these sufferings are not sufferings; they are a pastime, like a lila. So, but then it is told that that is not true. These sufferings are there, and it is because of our bad karma and everything. So, how to understand this?
So impersonalists are telling that there is no suffering in this material world. The suffering is lila, happiness and distress. But Prabhupada tells it, so there are two understandings. Once they tell lila, so it is not lila, it is due to karma. One's karma, that one is made to suffer in illusion. There is no real suffering. But because of karma, one is made to go through hallucinatory suffering. This is one part of the answer. Another is when they tell lila, that is wrong. Lila means not because of karma, out of my free will I do this. So when Krishna is being shot with arrows, that is Krishna's Leela. Krishna is not suffering. But Krishna is taking pleasure in such shooting of arrows. Similarly, when there is so-called suffering in the life of pure devotees, that is not suffering, that is actually Leela. They are always in transcendental bliss, as we have discussed many, many times the example. Although on physical level there is apparent pain, but on spiritual level there is ecstasy. So thus that is called Leela. That is not because of their karma. But the materialists or monists, they suffer because of their bad karma. So it cannot be called Leela.
So, in continuation with Prabhu's question, so Prabhu, like if we are seeing that someone is suffering, or someone is injured, or
Hmm.
someone is sick,
Hmm.
so as you mentioned that like these material sufferings are they hold no value.
Yeah.
So like what should be our approach? Like should we uh, just believe that it is because of the karma and we shouldn't help, or uh, like how do we
So the
tackle
question
the
is, the
situation?
sufferings are not real in nature. So when we see other living entities suffering, what do we do? Audible, yes. So what do we do? Should we not help others? No, we should help others. Why? Because even though we see other living entities suffering, but other sufferings are illusion, but he's suffering anyway. So that is why living entity is very compassionate, one who is advanced in spiritual life, and one's only aim is to give relief to others of their sufferings. So that is why we feel lot of compassion for them, because they are suffering even though they are suffering in illusion. But compassion is there, so that is why we have to work. Rather, there is no other purpose of a devotee's life but to work hard to give relief to such people. But relief can be given not by again some illusory help, but by real help, and that is spreading Krishna consciousness. That being said, of course, if somebody is suffering in front of us, let's say somebody has fallen off their vehicles, some accident, definitely we are the first ones to help, because immediate relief is also required, even though that is hallucinatory, but immediate relief is required. Otherwise, how they can follow Krishna consciousness if somebody is suffering so much in pain? Mind and body has to be peaceful. So that is why when we see anybody physically, mentally also suffering, we try to give relief. Those who come there in front of us. But ultimately, we understand ultimate relief can only be given by spiritual method.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, like as you mentioned that Mother Devavati is saying this metal world there is no substance. Does it mean that it is temporary or it is not real? But Prabhupada also says that unlike Mayavadis, they say that metal world is false. But Prabhupada says that metal world is energy of Krishna, so it is not false, but it is temporary. So what is the meaning of substance here? Is it because of temporary nature or?
A good question. What is the meaning of there is no substance in this material world? Because Prabhupada has told many times, this is the philosophy of Mayavadis. Mayavadis tell there is no earth, water, fire, sky. The world is not, you are not existing in the world is existing in your mind. These things don't exist really. You are hallucinating. Just like in dream we hallucinate. Similarly now, you are hallucinating. But then the actual understanding given in Bhagavad Gita is Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Kham Mano Buddhi Revacha Bhinna Prakriti Rashtadha. Krishna is declaring these are my energies very clearly. Where is illusion? Prabhupada tells your only business is to make Krishna depressed. Somebody has drawn very nice painting or he has curated very nice garden. You tell it is illusion, illusion, illusion. You have no sense to praise the person. Such a nice painting you have made. Such nice garden you have. So their only business is Mayavadis, they want to depress Krishna, make Krishna depressed. No, we appreciate it's Krishna's creation, Krishna's this thing. But what is the meaning when we say there is no substance? There is no substance means the substance as we see it. We see water, there is no water there. If we see wood, there is no wood there. If we see body, there is no body there. Bodies exist in spiritual world. Water exists in spiritual world, real water. Real trees exist in spiritual world. That is not tree, that is soul. That is looking like a tree. And the tree is also not tree, that is also spiritual substance. The same spiritual substance, Brahm, appears like ash, stool, cream, butter, or charcoal, etc. We have discussed many times. In wax museum, there is no body, there is no flesh, there is no bone. Although it appears like a person in flesh and bones is standing, it appears like different substances are there. Flesh is there, bone is there. You will find a golden watch, but it is actually made of wax. There is no gold there. That is the meaning of having no substance.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna Movement. Prabhu, here in the lecture, Prabhupada was writing in the purport that material energy is known as Mahat Tattva, which goes inside the body of Mahavishnu. So my question was, Prabhu, what is the difference between Mahat Tattva and Pradhan and material nature, and on which Mahavishnu glances to impregnate the living entities?
So this is very difficult to understand. That is why when description is given, so in purport it is told. So from here it means Mahat Tattva is different and Pradhan is different. It should be different, like this it is told. And sometimes we read some apparently contradictory explanations. But when it comes to some clear statements, Prabhupada tells, just like woman is called mother when woman becomes pregnant, mother is also woman only. In a similar way, when the three modes of nature, they get the material energy is agitated by three modes of nature, that is called Mahat Tattva. And its original state, it is called Pradhan. And otherwise, it is material energy only, which is known as Pradhan and Mahat Tattva in depending on the stages. But sometimes there are some other explanations also. So this the most direct statement which we have read, which we have come across.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, you mentioned Bhakti Yoga is practical work. So there were two devotees. They were coming to folk residency, and some of them had different ideas. One of them was just interested in chanting, and the other one, the different devotee was mopping the floor, and he was telling that, Ki, what is the use in doing this? You should just keep on doing the what we tell Shravanam Kirtanam. So how do we explain?
Other devotee was mopping the floor.
Mopping the floor, temple hall basically.
And he's telling what is the use of mopping.
Yeah. So how can we explain this dovetailing process to neophytes? Because they don't really understand. They only think that chanting or just dancing or something like that is only the process. How do we explain this dovetailing things to neophytes?
So how to explain neophytes? In various ways we can explain. If the neophyte is having faith in the scriptures, through scripture we can explain. Sevan mukhe jivvadau svayame spuratyadha. What Amrish Maharaj was doing. Savai mana Krishna padarvind. Vachansi vaikunta gunanu vandane. What is definition of bhakti? Krishna very clearly tells, Bhaktya mamapi janati. Yes, only by bhakti you can know me. And knowing Krishna is the ultimate aim of life, because even though neophyte is aspiring for liberation, that can only be attained when Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yoveti Tatvata. When one scientifically knows the Janma and Karma of Krishna, he gets liberated, right? Punarjanma Nayati. Now, who can scientifically know Krishna's birth and activities? Who is Bhaktya Mama Bijanati? Who is devotee? What is definition of bhakti? Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Engaging senses in service of Krishna. So very clearly it is told. Thus you have to work for Krishna, engage senses in service of Krishna. Of course, that service begins with tongue, but then all the senses have to be engaged. Any senses, if not engaged in service of Krishna, will fall for Maya. Thus, intelligence should be used to read, understand scriptures, Bhagavad Gita. Hand should be used, leg should be used, all the senses should be engaged. Online?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sacrificing the result of work is Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, as Krishna speaks Arjuna to offer the result of work. Or one should follow combinations of Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga.
Yoga process is a ladder, which Krishna describes in 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So giving up the results of one's activities can be Karma Yoga and can also be Bhakti Yoga. If one has no knowledge of Krishna at all, which is the case with majority of the people in general times. Unless this Bhakti Yoga is spread by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, people do not take to it very easily. But everyone understands enjoying the results of my work is not good. Either by reading the Vedas they understand, or by common sense they can understand that simply because I'm producing the results, I don't have right upon the results. Just like we take all the benefits from trees, they don't enjoy. We enjoy woods, flowers, fruits, everything. Similarly, honey is made by honeybee, we enjoy the honey. Pollinators, they pollinate and we enjoy the fruits. So all the living entities are giving service to others. Similarly, what we are producing, it should be also used in the service of others. And if I enjoy, I make my life more miserable, desires increase. So one starts giving up the results of one's activities. He is called Karma Yogi, having this basic sense that enjoying the results of activity simply increases miseries of life. So let me simplify my life. This is called Karma Yogi. This much sense is there. And when one knows that who has given me this body, the result should be offered for his service only. And thus he offers complete results to Krishna, and he acts also according to the service of Krishna. He is called a Bhakti Yogi. So there are various stages. So Karma Yoga begins from simply giving up the results of activities. And the higher stage of Karma Yoga is giving up the results of one's activities for Krishna. Yat karoshi, yat joshi, tat karusha madarpanam. Whatever you are doing, offer it to me. But still there is contamination, because a person still wants to work in a particular way and offer the results to Krishna. Just like a child who works the way he wants, stays wherever he wants, but gives money to father. Father has taken care. Let me send some money home. But then the best son is, Father, you tell me, what do you want me to do? Should I be with you? What do you want me to do? Which kind of work should I do? Complete surrender. This is called Bhakti Yoga. Doing the work also the way Krishna wants us to do, and offering the results also in this way. So should one follow a combination of this thing? No, one should not follow. If one is intelligent enough, one should directly take to the process of Bhakti Yoga, which is the culmination and easiest to follow at the same time.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I am unable to make a stand for myself when colleagues force me to eat outside.
So suppose somebody tells you that outside food, it has got poison in it. Will the colleagues be able to force us? Take no, little you take. Achha, chalo, my friend is telling, let me eat poison. We'll never tell. So because we do not realize how dangerous, how contaminating it is, that is why it is told the first stage is Shrutvanebhya upasate, hearing. Because we are blind to reality. So that is why we should hear and implement very nicely the instructions. Doctor tells, do not eat this. Even though that is very tasty, I will not eat. Doctor is told, I will die if I eat this. I will not do. Similarly, one should very strictly try to hear every morning and evening in the association of devotees. Then our concepts will be very strong, and then I will not eat. So everything is because of lack of knowledge. That is why Prabhupada tells, read and hear thoroughly morning and evening in the association of devotees. Then when there is knowledge, tapasya, renunciation will follow automatically, without which there is no question of spiritual advancement. Unless our senses are controlled, we are very disciplined, there is no question of spiritual, no question. First one has to become Goswami, strict controller of the senses, greatly disciplined. Then there is question of pure devotion. So thus one should please try to hear morning and evening Bhagavatam in the association of devotees. Then automatically when our concepts are clear, I understand unoffered food, especially outside food, is poison, then we will never eat it. Even our friends will be convinced to eat prasadam. So our conviction will get transferred to them.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, suppose a person has a cavity in teeth and he does not go to a doctor and voluntarily accepts the pain and thinks Krishna is giving the pain. Is this a tapasya or foolishness?
So Prabhupada explains, in this material world, we have to work for everything. Somebody can put logic like this. If Krishna wanted me to wear dresses, he should have given a couple of dresses at the time of birth. Why do I come naked? It means Krishna wants me to stay naked. This is wrong. Why we are wearing dresses? Let us remain naked. We should understand God's design. Yes, I am believer of God. Follow God's design. We are born naked, we should remain naked. So yes, if we don't follow spiritual master, we can come to such strange conclusions. So Prabhupada tells you, rascal, in this world, one has to work hard for everything. That is a nature. That is a material world. Avidya karma sangyanya tritiya shaktirishyate. In this material world, what is the identification? When one is under the clutches of material energy, one is forced to work hard. So in this world, one has to work hard for everything to maintain oneself. So one has to work as a matter of duty, go to doctor, but the result is again in Krishna's hand. This is the understanding of depending on Krishna. You have to work hard to protect your body. Somebody is going to come and kill you, and you don't protect yourself. That is not right. If you can, you must protect. Even after that, one can die, then what can be done? So that is why one must eat food. If Krishna wants, food will come enter into my mouth. And knowledge will automatically enter. I'll become knowledge. If Krishna wants, no. So in material world, one has to work hard. Even after that, it's in my destiny. I remain dumb. I will remain dumb even after hearing a lot. It's in my destiny to starve. I'll starve. I'm not able to protect myself. I will not be able to protect. What can be done? So this is called depending on Krishna. You act, and for the result, depend on Krishna. Not that we don't work. We have to work.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, how can one avoid irregulated sense gratification while enjoying various pleasures and facilities provided in spiritual life, such as
Please repeat, please.
how can one avoid sense gratification while enjoying various pleasures and facilities provided in spiritual life, such as prasadam?
Okay, good question. So that is why in spiritual life also we should see I am not doing sense gratification. As one devotee was telling after Kirtan, oh Prabhupada, it was such a nice Kirtan. We enjoyed so much. So Prabhupada, if you enjoyed, that is sense gratification. Kirtan is for Krishna's enjoyment. So the question is, should we not enjoy Kirtan? No, we can enjoy, but the objective should be, I am doing Kirtan for Krishna's pleasure. This is the difference in consciousness. Sometimes we can do Kirtan for our pleasure, just like we are singing, dancing outside. So that is not the mood. I do Kirtan for Krishna's pleasure. I cook for, if I think I am cooking for myself, that is sinful, that is not right. And rather, Prabhupada says, one will fall down to sense gratification if one eats very nice palatable dishes, or one accepts, in Nectar of Instruction it is written, one accepts the invitation from rich men with a mood to enjoy delicious foodstuffs. This is also falling for sense gratification, satisfying the tongue. So thus mood should not be, oh, I will enjoy nicely. Mood should be to offer Krishna nice foodstuffs. Mood should be to sing and dance nicely for Krishna's pleasure. So that is why Prabhupada tells, even if you do not feel like dancing, force yourself to dance. Because Krishna will get pleasure when you dance. I may not feel pleasure, does not matter. I should dance for. There is birthday of son of managing director. All the employees will come. They'll smile very nicely, even though they have to please the boss. Even though they are not feeling. Yes. So even though that is why Bhakti Yoga is beyond feelings. I may feel miserable doing that, but I will do for the pleasure of Krishna. That is why we fast. Prabhupada tells. On Ekadashi, try to eat only fruits and milk. There is suffering. Tolerate the suffering. Parikrama, tolerate it. Do this. Not my pleasure. So similarly, this is our mood. So in every activity, there could be sense gratification. I am reading book. I am enjoying very nicely. And I left my other services which were required, then that is sense gratification. So in every field, thus Krishna and Maya are side by side. So you should be very, very cautious. I am doing this activity just for the satisfaction of Krishna and spiritual master. That is why following authorities is very, very important. That is called Bhakti Yoga. Any other question?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Shastra says that one should avoid eating after sunset. But how to manage that in family life when other family members are also there in the family?
Shastra, I have not read that one should eat before sunset, although it is recommended in some religions, and in Ayurveda also it is told recommended you eat early, it is better. And I've heard from other sources that you just take milk after sunset. That is a recommendation. But it was not very strictly implemented by Prabhupada. And although Prabhupada told take milk and banana at night or some khichdi, simple diet at night, but there were other times when full meals also were taken by devotees. So the principle is to eat, to minimize eating at night, and when there were digestive disorders. So definitely Prabhupada told do not eat at night. So as a principle, it is very good to follow that we should minimize eating at night. Prabhupada tells if you are yogi, so don't eat at night. Yogis don't eat, they minimize. You are anyway going to sleep. So night, because we are not going to do any work, the diet should be minimum. But we cannot tell that it is the injunction of Shastras do not eat. So entire day once Prabhupada was outside preaching, and then Prabhupada did not take anything entire day. Only night he got free. And night Prabhupada took regular grains and disciples also were taking. So thus it is not a sin to eat after sunset, but it is good. It is very good practice if we can minimize the diet. So if family members are there, what to do? So we have to see. We have to adjust. Let family members take. You don't take. You convince them.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, is egg vegetarian or non-vegetarian?
Egg.
Egg.
Egg is classified as non-vegetarian. So there are reasons. People tell no animal is being killed. Because in many cases fertilization is not there. So Prabhupada explains it is not about fertilization, it is dirty, it is tamasic. Egg smells very nicely. Nice fragrance comes out of it. No. So thus in Bhagavad Gita it is told what is tamasic, which is rotten, old, putrid, stale. These are all tamasic foodstuffs. So we can see it is dirty, very dirty. Milk is pure. With milk, you can take bath. With egg, you can take bath. So it is dirty. Similarly, meat, flesh, and all these things. It is very dirty foods. Dirty foods. They are tamasic. So that is why it creates very tamasic influence in our body. We become dull, lazy, angry, lusty, greedy. All low qualities, base qualities we develop. So it is not necessary that we are killing some living entity in the process of consuming eggs, but it has got tamasic effect. That is why onion, garlic also, although it is vegetarian, should be avoided because it has got tamasic effect on the body. For this reason, eggs should be avoided and they are classified as avoidable non-veg foodstuffs. Those who are hearing from folk residency can carry on. I'll take one more question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So when we just recommend somebody to chant Hare Krishna, you chant 4 rounds for a week or 2, and then you will see the results, you will change the transformation. So as we know in the background that transformation depends on how much bhakti he had done in the previous life, how much contamination also he had, and how much what devotion and sincerity initially also he's putting forward into the chanting. So how do we claim and on what basis then if he or she doesn't see the result after 2 weeks, they may say प्रभु ये तो काम नहीं करता है, ये तो ना मेरे को ज़्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं दिखा. So then we may end up saying that आपने अच्छे से नहीं किया होगा. So what is the basis of this understanding that it works, we know, but individual to the individual it differs?
That is true with any case. Medicine may not work for somebody, other things may not work for somebody. So that is why we tell you try, you make an experiment. If it works, you follow. Most of the cases it will follow, and it should work in every case because if we follow systematically, then it will give the result. That is a fact that a person has not followed systematically, not followed very nicely. So what we can do?
So if the result is not coming, then he will be like
what can be done? That is there everywhere. If they don't follow, they will not be getting results. And they may tell it does not work for me, it's okay. What can be done?
So let him go.
Oh yeah, that is true in every case. Not everyone is satisfied. We'll finish. Granthra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki